So it is 5:31, and I am calling this special public hearing to order. Are there any adjustments to the order of the agenda?
We have none.
Okay, anybody else have anything? All right. We do have Fletcher online, right, Fletcher?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm masquerading as my alter ego, Patricia Whalen.
That's fine. That's all right. Okay, so take it away. Sue.
Oh, okay. So I'm Sue Coakley, Chair of the Planning Commission. I'm here to talk about a grant application the town is submitting for Vermont Community Development Planning Grant for the Town Hall renovation project. Planning grant is for planning. It's basically to do the detailed construction drawings, the environmental review, and the historical review that have to be done. And those things will enable us to have the detailed information that we need for really looking at a full project cost estimate and how to stage the project and what to do and what not to do. Will come out of this planning. The grant is a very competitive grant. It is a federally funded grant. It's the CBGG, how do you say that? Community Block Grant Program, and Vermont's form of that. The application is for $60,000. The total cost of the project is about $136,000, $500. So the additional funding is provided by a match from the town through the ARPA funding that was made available for grant matches and seed funding. There's also a match coming from in-kind assistance from the Putney Historical Society, Lisa Papazian, who will do the historical review. And the town is also funding the grant writer, so there's another part of a match for it. That match makes it very competitive because it's a $60,000 grant. We have a $73,000 match. So that's a good thumb on the scale. The grant application is due on the 9th of April, 5 days from today, and we will be submitting it. It has letters of support already from the Putney Historical Society, Discover Putney, and the Planning Commission. We actually had those all arranged when you approved the resolution and support for this grant application a couple of weeks ago. Tonight's hearing is simply to allow public comment and support, or not, on the project application. It's also an opportunity if you have questions regarding the application. I will say that the application that you received, and I'm sure you've read it from beginning to end, was a draft, and we've identified some things that will be updated in the final version. Just some correction about the budget, and the numbers that I just gave you aren't correctly stated in the draft, in the document, the narrative. They are in the budget document. So we'll be changing those. And the other additions will clarify that the focus of this grant, which fits the requirements of the grant program, a lot of them around ADA compliance. The initial narrative noted that they were all interior, but we all know that the entrance out here is not accessible, and that's one of the things that will be part of this planning and project, is to make the front entrance. So that means there'll be some kind of ramp, something, and the doors will actually open and close when you want them to.
Wow.
I'm not entirely sure this front door is going to make it to the time we have a construction project. I think we might have another couple months before it doesn't close.
Or it doesn't open.
Or doesn't work, one or the other, or neither. But in any case, so there'll be some additions that will clarify that there will be, that'll be part of the accessibility improvements. It also clarifies that part of the health and benefits of this grant are actually the energy efficiency and HVAC improvements. Can you imagine a year-round complete building, heating, cooling, and ventilation in this building?
I've got the heater right here. I'm fine. I'm good.
But then in August sometimes it's not so fun.
No, that's not fine.
And upstairs is not heated. So those are part of the benefits that will make the building accessible and usable for the full public. So those are all things we had talked about before. It's in the prospectus. They're all aligned with the project, just that they weren't fully reflected in the grant. And it's just a few, updates like that. Otherwise, the grant application is largely as it was posted. And if there are any other comments or things that come up today, we will consider those in finalizing the grant application. We do have with us, I just noticed that it says Bree Gunter. Bree, is that you?
No, I'm masquerading as my wife today.
That makes two of you
It's
doing
that's
this.
a trend.
Because it looks like it's just about mostly women here, right? Anyway, so I will appreciate and thank Haven House Consulting, Joe and Bree Gunter, who have been drafting this and have done the lion's share of preparing this grant application, which is largely ready to go. So they're here. Joe is here if there are questions about the grant, what it is, why we're doing it, anything that you might have. And I will note that Lisa Papazian is also here. Welcome, Lisa. And Lisa is part of the Town Hall Renovation Project Development Team. As you know, Putney Historical Society has a lease for the second floor and have been making a number of commitments to help fund this project and make sure that it happens. So we appreciate that support. So that's my introduction. And if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, we can allow those who have public comment to provide that.
Okay. Is there any public? There's no public in the room here. Is there any public online that would like to speak? Comment?
Comments.
No comments. Does Lisa want to? Do you want to say something since you're there?
Well, I'm happy to say something, which is the Historical Society fully supports this, obviously. We've said that before. This is a really important grant opportunity. There aren't a lot, so this is an important one, important step. And even though it seems to take a large share of the ARPA money, it's an important way to jumpstart this project and actually get it to be competitive down the road. And this hopefully leads, if we're successful, it leads to an implementation grant for the ADA improvements from PCDP.
Okay. I guess my only question, and it's not necessarily to do with this grant, but just how this is. I know we also have renovation plans, right? Is this separate from this, or is this part of it?
This
or?
is the renovation plan.
We're starting this whole process. Okay.
The renovation plan has begun.
Okay.
We did those initial feasibility assessments and got some idea of what it would cost to do the HVAC improvements. We've had the energy audit that's been done. We don't have the
Right.
report yet, but that's a first step. So in your packet is what I would call our funding stack
Right.
for this project.
I gotcha.
And it shows you what, from a project management perspective, what we've already done, and then what we're aiming for. And one could say we were in a pre-design phase. We want to move into a full design planning phase. That's what this grant will enable us to do.
Okay.
And when that's done, there'll be an important time to make some decisions about what we actually can do, what's feasible. In the meantime, we're trying to chase down any possible funding source that will support the project in getting that kind of lined up. And it's very helpful to have grant writers who can assist us when it comes time to do that.
I'm glad we have that assistance. Is this Selectboard?
Yeah. Can you, or can somebody just speak more to how the planning doing this, the planning that this grant will allow us to do will then feed into the next phase.
Sure. Oh, Lisa, do you want to speak to that? I'll give you a chance to.
Well, hopefully my dogs won't explode again. So repeat the question. 'Cause
So
the first
really
one-
just kind of educate us about how this planning grant and the planning that then we will be able to do, how that feeds into getting more funding for the next phase of the project, and just a little more information on that.
This will largely pay for the design of, actually designing the project. We have a very schematic plan now, not even, and this really puts us into a position where we hire an architect and continue with the planning, do another cost estimate once we have more fully developed plans, and realize what we can and can't have in this project, so that at the end of this planning grant, what it pays for, we are essentially shovel ready, and that puts us in an important position to apply for bricks and mortar type grants. Right now, a lot of them are just not going to consider us because we're not there yet. We're not ready. And it also certainly helps us know down the line whether we can afford it, whether we need to cut out parts of the project or look for other sources.
Okay.
So it's very fundamental, to the rest of the fundraising. I should just note that I mentioned last night, and in fact you approved a request for MTAP funding for a project manager. So in addition to having an architect, do the design and having the environmental review done and the historical review done, especially as we move into making decisions about what to do and then get bids for construction, all of that, we do need a project manager. I think that Lisa and Karen are amazing, but I don't have any more time, and I'm not sure they have any more time to do that type of project oversight. And I think we'll be more efficient and more effective if we have a project manager. So we've applied for MTAP funding. My sense is the funding we're going to get from there will be just part of what we need for a project manager. I'm not sure that the funds were sufficient available from the state to do what we fully need, so we'll be looking for more project management funding. We do have another grant, a mini grant for doing public outreach. And to answer your question, Peg, in another way, is the more specifics we have about the project, the more we can engage the public about what we're doing and what does it look like. And right now, we don't have anything that physical to show people. We do need to begin more public engagement, but having a project manager and having materials being developed out of the planning will just make it much more real and interesting and useful to have public input.
Okay. Cool. Fletcher, did you have any questions?
No, I think it's good. To be honest, it's becoming a blur to me what Sue's putting in front of us. I'm wondering if is there some kind of flow chart or list of the grants that are possible that might be coming out of, so how much money to fund what parts of the project?
Yes, actually, Fletcher, if you go to the materials for today's meeting, you'll see a project and funding status report that shows what I call our current funding stack. It doesn't add up to 100% of the cost, but it goes a long way towards the cost and provides sources that we're seeking. So that might at least give you a good start on what you're asking for.
Fletcher, did you have did it get posted online?
It's all posted. It's all posted on
So
our
yeah, we didn't get the packet in our email, but it's posted online. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's under document, select board meeting documents.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And there's also a funding prospectus that just sort of describes the overall scope of the project, so you'll get that as well.
Okay, is there anybody in the online wishes to comment on this proposed grant?
I will just note in that regard that the Putney Historical Society has provided a letter of support. And I thought perhaps, I see that Tom Jameson's here, also Lisa I think it's very helpful to have a comment on the public record in the hearing about that as well.
So can we have Tom or Lisa put in a good word?
I don't know, Tom, you want to, I can't see when you're unmuting yourself.
There he is.
Not really prepared to say much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I guess this project has been a long time coming, and the Historical Society has anticipated it, and we're very eager to get it going and to help with the implementation of the project.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else to say right now.
Thank you, Tom.
It's pretty critical to us to have a home and also to help the town actually use its second floor, which is an incredible resource for the whole town. So it is a long time coming, and we are excited to be able to help.
Great. Thank you.
I will note that this, from a planning commission perspective, this is actually one of the priorities in the town plan as part of revitalizing the village, updating and renovating and bringing this building into more modern use and much more increased use in the community, a center of community action, is going to be a great model for how historic renovation can actually be done very well in town and serve current needs using current technology inside the building. And we do hope that additional activities that could be planned, like EV charging around the building, will help stimulate economic development, bring people to beautiful downtown Putney, and it will have a number of benefits. And actually provide, a place for people to learn about energy efficiency, how that works well, accessibility, and also charging.
Great. Okay. So I'm gonna ask one more time if there's any public comment on this grant. Going once. Going twice. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you.